Okay, friends, I'm back, and just like that, I've switched projects. So this is my corner to corner, and I just remembered that I think I took the hook out of this project. I believe I am using an H, so let me just grab that. I had a bunch of hooks just laying around, so I threw a bunch just in this little bag. I have a better organization for this, but okay. Yeah, we're going to use this H hook, and I'm using this Karen Cake yarn. I think, no, it's Mandala Bonus Bundle. The color is Gnome, Lion Brand, Mandala Bonus Bundle, and the color is Gnome. So this is just a corner to corner. This is my own just kind of, whatever pattern. I'm not following a specific pattern that's telling me how many rows or whatever. But you can see this is displaying nice bright colors with occasional splotches of other colors in there. And that's just the nature of this cake. The color way is Gnome. Look what happened. Can you see it? Where is the yarn? Oh, there. Pulling it the wrong way. Just a tiny little yarn barf there. A little bit of a tangle. I don't know how that happens. Sometimes the middle of the ball gets caught up with another piece. Okay, so this is pretty basic. You're just using chain 3, double crochet, double crochet, double crochet. So each little square on the corner to corner is kind of like almost like a granny cluster. So you have the chain here, and then you have 3 double crochets. Now this yarn is a 3 weight, so it calls for the 5 millimeter, which to me I think seems kind of big for this yarn. But then it makes the blanket a little more airy. You can see if you pull it, then it kind of shows the holes a little more. And then you just continue your corner to corner. So the nice thing about corner to corner, which this is only my second one I've made, you can decide how wide and how long you want it based on how many rows you do. So as you're doing your diagonal, that is kind of determining your width. So this one is currently, let me check with my tape measure here, from edge, or like corner to edge is, I'm guessing, about 30 inches, 29 inches. And I'm thinking I'm going to make this one about 36. So each one of these squares starts the row is about 1 inch, I think. Let me measure. I've just been saying that and I don't even ever measure it. Yeah, it is about 1 inch. So that would mean 36 of these squares. Each square starts a row. So 36 rows to my width, and then however long I want it. So if you've never done corner to corner, it is pretty easy. Some people say it gets hard when you do the decrease. The hardest part of that for me is remembering to do the decrease. Don't keep going off the edge and make more wider row when you're supposed to be decreasing. When I first was starting to decrease, I put a stitch marker on the side that was going to be my decrease, because you're going to do the decrease on one side, which is kind of like the top end side. Does that make sense? Let me get a piece of paper and show you what I mean. Okay, pretend this is the corner to corner. This is your starting point. As you're doing your diagonals, you're going like this. You're filling up your blanket. So then you get to this edge, and you're starting another diagonal. But now you want to do your decrease so this edge becomes straight. So all you're doing is then kind of slip stitching in the end of the square. Then you start your row and you go across. Then you come back, slip stitch up to the edge so that you're not making more extensions. Like when you typically get to the end, you're going to start a new square right here and then stair step across. But when you do your decrease, you're doing like a slip stitch, and I think maybe a chain so that you can do this square and then go across, and then you just keep building straight instead of going and continuing to make it long. It's easier to show when I'm actually doing it, but I'm not going to be doing it for a while because this one has 6 more rows that I need to do at least. Oops. If I can manage to keep my yarn on the hook. Yeah, this hook size with this tiny yarn, it's making the blanket very airy, which is nice because if this is listed in my shop and somebody buys it like a baby blanket, then it's going to be nice and colorful, lightweight. It's perfect for layering and have a nice blanket in the stroller or a blanket on the carpet to have like a little play area. And this is just a corner to corner, which I just discovered this year, and I'm loving it. Thank you for the follow. Oh, thank you, Tammy Klein. I appreciate it. Oh, Andrew, I'm sorry, I didn't see your question, but no, I do not know how to do the honeycomb. I may have tried it before because I did do a couple like test squares real small. But I don't know if you heard, there's like 400 different ways to do Tunisian. Can you imagine? I would love to try that though. I should get TL's book. I know she has a book, and I think somebody said that she has one about Tunisian. I'm not sure. I should get that book. Pretty sure I saw it on Amazon. Hey, I'm going to try to pronounce your name, Gulmina. Hopefully that's correct. Welcome. Thank you for stopping by. I'm working on a corner-to-corner blanket. This is using crochet, and I'm left-handed. Hope you're doing well tonight. Thanks for joining me. I've got so many projects going on, and I'm always thinking of new things to do. Not only like, trying to have passive income, but different career paths and different ways to create. So I thought, you know what, I've got these projects hanging out there. Let me just get on live, commit to them. And then what I also do is download these sessions to my YouTube channel. So I did take a little break earlier so that I could save the prior stream. And I was streaming YouTube at the same time. So That way I have this part 2, and I know part 2 I want to add to YouTube because I already have part 1. Oh, yay. That's great, Andrew. Yeah. And you know what? I think Tunisian is on the most basic level, it's easy. But the trick with the different stitches is just listening, not listening, but reading carefully and your stitch placement. So, weave in here, weave out there, weave in here, weave out there. And then once you do a few rows and you start seeing the effect, then you'll be able to see if you did it correctly because you'll see the design starting to come forward. Oh my gosh, Tammy Klein, yes. So I kept hearing, let me get some water. I kept hearing, oh, corner to corner, corner to corner. But when I would look at this finished product like this, my brain could not even comprehend how that was happening. And I was totally intimidated. Then, so the beginning of this year, I said to myself, okay, this is going to be the year. I'm going to try to promote my shop. I'm going to get more things in my shop. I'm going to get more traffic to my shop. I need to study search engine optimization. I need to study getting traffic over there. There's just so many things I want to do. So quit being afraid. So I said, turn on the YouTube, grab the yarn, grab the hook. Let's do this. And once I started, I was embarrassing myself at being intimidated by something that was so easy. And I even was thinking, it is not life or death. It's yarn and a hook. Why are you afraid? So then I did it, and I finished one of my blankets, which I have posts on TikTok. Well, it's done in the sense of all the crocheting is done. Now I have to weave in the ends, which shouldn't be too bad because I did large, wide stripes, so I didn't have that many ends. Yes, exactly. Andrew, please post your progress because I want to see what the honeycomb stitch is all about and how it works out for you. And look at my beautiful stitch marker I have here. See my little mermaid? Whoop, whoop. These are so awesome. Thank you for my charms, Andrew. You're so sweet. I'm glad you're feeling better. I'm glad you're on live. I mean, not on live, but you're watching, hanging out. So this color of this, okay, now I have to think, what am I doing? I think I need to chain 6. This yarn is called Gnome, but I don't know why, because it's so bright and colorful. Let me see. And my chain stitches are not fantastic, so bear with me while I try to get my hook in here. I gotta find the front and the back of the chain. Oh, I need a double crochet. There we go. And then this is how you start the next row. So you're just gonna go in there, and then you'll see this will be the next square. Sorry, I'm looking at the work and then I'm noticing it's not 100% on screen here. And one more. And then I'll show you the square. Right now it feels like it looks like a jumbled up mess. Okay, so that is the end of, well, it's the end of the not the end of the row, This is the end of the row. This is the beginning of the next row. So then you see this was a chain 6, and then part of that is here, and that becomes a chain 3, which it kind of looks like a little nubbins, but as you go it gets more squared off. Then 1, 2, 3 double crochets, and that's in the 3 chains. And then you're turning your work. So this will now be the front, this is the back. And then slip stitch into that square from the prior row, and then you're just going to go diagonal again. Super easy. And as you crochet your row, and that's going to be on a diagonal, it almost kind of closes up those chains and makes like a, some people have asked if it's a shell stitch, and I've never used a shell stitch, but I have looked at it and I do believe it looks similar. So, and I like what's neat for me is when I'm using these cakes and it's changing colors, the colors are on a diagonal, so it makes a diagonal stripe instead of the rows across type of stripe. So I like that. I might see how far I get, because this cake is 1,181 yards. So that's going to take you pretty far. I'll see how far I get, because it can also be an illusion where as the rows get longer, it takes more yarn. So we'll see. But like I said, I'm not following a pattern. I just kind of winging it. So then that way it can be the width and the length that I want it to be. It doesn't have to be a set width or length. Thank you for the follow. Oh, you're crocheting a tree skirt? I'm trying to get my nerve up because I have an embroidery machine, and I saw a beautiful tree skirt pattern that is for machine embroidery. So you do it in segments and then you connect the segments together. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. It literally would take me probably the whole year because I would get so distracted. And that, I don't think that would be something to add to my inventory because the price would be insane. You know, once you factor in time and materials. So we'll see. I need to buy the pattern first. And I only have a single needle embroidery machine, so that would be a task. Yes, Andrew, tag me. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for the follows. Feel free to share the live as well. Oh, I forgot to set a live goal. I usually try to set a live goal just because it's there as an option. May as well. Sometimes people like to do that, participate in reaching the live goal. I mean, I'm here whether I have a goal or not, whether I get gifts or not, so it's not like mandatory. Let's see. Oh, it's scrolling through, so I'll let it finish and then I'll put a... Oh, I do have a live goal. Okay, cool. It must have carried over from when I took a little break and started back. Maybe because I didn't reach the goal yet. But thanks for hanging out, guys. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the follows. Definitely appreciate it. I'm working on a corner to corner. I am using a Karen... No, I keep saying Karen. It's not Karen. It's Lion Brand Mandala yarn. It is called a bonus bundle, and the color is Gnome. Gnome. I don't know why, but Gnome does not seem like the right color name for this bundle because it's so bright. When I think of Gnome, I think more of earthy colors like the garden, because usually I think of the gnome in the garden. Continuous granny with blanket yarn. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can. You're gonna definitely have a different sizing on that because the blanket yarn is so thick. This weight is a 3 weight, but you can do this corner to corner with a 3, a 4, a 5, anything. You're just gonna adjust your hook size according to your yarn size. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I have another pattern. Hopefully you guys are aware there are tons of free patterns online. Just about every yarn company has free patterns, and it'll say that right on the, of course it doesn't say it on this one. Oh my goodness. It will say it on the wrapper. Let's see if it does. Ah, yes, see, lionbrand.com, over 8,000 free patterns. So that might be knitting and crocheting, blankets, socks, scarves, gloves. So any yarn that you get, make sure you check that out and see, because that is a great help to your budget if you can get free patterns. And then a lot of times there will be a photograph on the yarn, and it will say the free pattern is included. So here's an example. This one is for knitting, and this is a shawl, and it said pattern on back. If it just says free pattern included, then you can always look online. But it says here, this will take 1 skein. So let's say you really like this, but you don't knit. You can always look on Yarnspirations and see if there's a similar shawl that you can make with crochet. Yeah, so each yarn company, Yarnspirations, I think that's for Karen and Red Heart. Even Michael's, they have free patterns in the store and online. So make sure you check that out. You can add a lot to your pattern stash with the free patterns. Oh yes, Andrew, I love free patterns too. I picked up 3 brochures today at Michael's. I found their free patterns, which sometimes it's fun to have it in your hand. Let me scroll back here. Tammy, you make one for your daughter, and a lady seen it and wanted one. Oh yeah. Okay, nice. Awesome. Pattern on YouTube. Yep. And sometimes, Brittany, you're right. The pattern is on the inside of the label. Oh, okay. Amber, you can even do this corner to corner with I don't know what colors your son likes, but you can use any color. This isn't really like, sometimes you have patterns that are a little more masculine, a little more feminine, but this is kind of like, unisex, gender neutral, I guess they call it. And it's easy. I like this one because I can do it while I'm watching TV and I don't really have to worry about counting. And then you can also make it kind of custom. Like if you're using it for like a bed cover, let's say they have all the blankets and sheets and you're just using it to fit just over the top of the bed, on top of the bedding, then you can make it exactly the size you want. Maybe a tiny bit bigger in case it might shrink. This yarn is acrylic, so it shouldn't, but you just never know. But continuous granny stitch. So you mean like a cluster, the same way you do the granny stitch? Yeah, you can use blanket yarn for that. If you know your gauge, or you can even just wing it and figure it out as you go, then you just do your chain stitches for however wide you want it to be. And then go for it with your granny stitch. I've even looked up fast crochet Afghan, and I think there was one called the Lazy Waves. That one turned out really cute, and it was pretty quick. It looked complex, but it wasn't. Oh no, maybe it wasn't Lazy Waves. It's something else. Shoot, I can't remember the name. But that was a free pattern as well. All right, time for more water. I talk too much. I have a blow pop here, but then I won't be able to talk. Yeah, definitely, Amber. I wanted to make, and it's crazy because I made it from scrap yarn. It wasn't for any purpose. I wanted to use up a bunch of scrap yarn, and I wanted to make an Afghan, but I didn't want it to take me months. So I literally looked up quick crochet Afghan or blanket, and it showed me a stitch that was really cool. And it went really quickly. Yes, exactly, Tammy. And you can change the replay speed. So if you get a person that you like their style of their tutorial, but they're speaking too quickly, you can slow down the replay. Or maybe it's the opposite, they're too slow. You can speed it up. I've noticed on a lot too that the creator will have the written pattern in the description. So that's really cool too, because what I do is copy and paste that into a Word document or a Google document, and then I can print it out. So then that way, if I don't have time to just sit and watch the YouTube, I have the printed pattern. And then once I get rolling on the basic premise of the pattern, I have it printed out, and then I can continue even if I'm not watching YouTube. I actually have 2 free patterns on my YouTube. One is for fingerless gloves, and that one is really easy because it's ambidextrous, meaning, hold on, let me grab it real quick. You do it's one pattern for both gloves. So it's super easy because the thumb hole is just like a chain stitch. You can see you're just skipping over. Super easy. So then you just do the same pattern for the right hand and the left hand. So you don't have to have 2 different patterns. So try it out. I mean, that was like my maiden voyage. So let me know if there's any mistakes in there. I tried to test it out myself, but sometimes that doesn't work 100%. And then I also have one for a chunky ear flap hat. It's just like a beanie with little ear flaps. Kind of cute, fun little project. It's, your basic magic circle with an increase and then some ear flaps on there. So that's fun. You could even make a matching fingerless gloves and hat. It's still winter. It's still cold. I think there's some areas of the U.S. where they're still waiting for their snow to show up. And this pattern you can make for men or women. It's pretty gender neutral. Just depends on which yarn or, whatever color your person wants. Thank you. Yeah, I got the idea. Hang on, let me. Yes, lefty, lefty. Oh my gosh, Debbie, please post pictures of your giant Afghan. Yeah, so this is super easy. I can't even remember. I think I used half double crochet. And then when you get to where the thumb hole is, it's just a chain. Honestly, working from home, my hands get cold, so I grab these and throw them on because then I can still type. Super easy. And then, let's say this part is too long, you can fold it up. Make like a little fashion statement. Right? I mean, that's pretty intuitive. You could even add some bling. Sew some beads on here with yarn. But yeah, that's for right or left hand. So it's the same pattern. You just do it twice and then you wear it on the opposite hand. So this, I'm just working on my corner to corner. Thought I would get on here and share with you guys, make some progress. I don't want my live to be too long because then the processing takes too long to upload to YouTube. So what I like to do is download off of Twitch or TikTok and then add to my YouTube channel. That way, if there's something that you're watching along with me and you have to leave or your internet goes out and you didn't get to finish watching it, I try to always upload. And so then that way you can see it on YouTube later. I've got a couple, excuse me, a couple tutorials on there. I've got some unboxings, but mostly it's just a replay with no editing of my lives from Twitch or TikTok. I have a couple reposts. I would do one video on my Instagram and then also add that to my YouTube. So I've got a couple amigurumi things on there. What did I do? I think I uploaded one where I was working on my inventory for my shop. So, I just put a little bit of everything. Doubtful that I will be YouTube famous. But you're also not going to hear me screaming and yelling and telling you, wait till the very end of the video because I'm going to tell you something that changes your life. That's not going to happen. When was the last time you ever saw anything on YouTube that changed your life? Please share if you did. Are there great ideas? Yes. Are there great advice? Yes. Are there life-changing things? Sure, probably. But if it's really that awesome, do they really need to wait till the end of the video? I mean, come on, people. Thanks for the follow. Thank you, thank you. I'm working on my corner to corner. I'm just getting to the edge right now so I can show you in case you are like I was and you were intimidated by trying a corner to corner. You can also be like I was and say how ridiculous you were to wait because it is so easy. So I call each one of these segments a square, and basically you're just doing a bunch of squares, and then those squares make up your corner to corner. So then when you get to the end, each row is opposite, meaning front, front, front. So each row is diagonal. So this is the front, this is the back, back, back. But you turn your work after each diagonal. So there's not a true front or a true back. Yay, left-handed. Oh, okay. Sorry, Lori. I actually was lucky. My dad was left-handed and he taught me how to crochet left-handed when I was about 8. So in my world, I never really felt different because my dad was always there and I always had a left-handed person, but then I also had 5 other people in my family that were right-handed. So yeah, I was lucky that I got to learn from my dad as a left-hander. And Amy, this, excuse me, this is Mandala Bonus Bundle from Lion Brand. And the color is Gnome, which to me doesn't really make sense because Gnome for me is like garden color, earthy tones. I don't know, this would be more like Sprite or Rainbow Bright or something like that. I don't know. And this is a 3-weight yarn. I am using an H 5mm hook. That is what's recommended on the package. It is my favorite size, so I usually gravitate towards that. Okay, so when you're at the end of your row, this is your diagonal for your corner to corner. You're going to do chain 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you're going to do your double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook because you're going to do your 3 doubles. So you're in the 4th chain from the hook to do your first double, and then 5th from the hook for your second double, and then 6th from the hook for your third double. So this is starting your new row. Okay, so it looks kind of bobbly, kind of like a little jumble, but then you attach it to your, so here's the chain from the last row, and then now you turned it, so here's the front, here's the back. Then, yeah, you know, I think I saw these at Michael's today, but I think I actually got mine at Walmart, so you might get better pricing at Walmart. Okay, then here you're going to do a chain 3, and then you're just going on your next diagonal with your 3 double crochets. And then that is how it's creating that shell kind of look. You know, the little scallop with the double crochets on it. Oh, your yarn is in front of your projects. Yeah, so, oh, so like this, and you hold your yarn. Okay. Yeah, my dad taught me this way. And, I don't know, it's just like, and the other day I was watching myself. So I have 2 TikTok channels. So one of the TikTok channels, I was watching myself so that I could see the commentary, answer questions. And watching myself crochet, I was like, oh, that's weird. I never really realized I hold my hook that way or my yarn that way, or You know, so that was interesting for me. Hey, Hessa, how are you doing? Thank you so much for sending me those pictures of your Sophie's universe. Oh my gosh, it looks amazing. Today I was at Michael's and I got, I don't know if you guys have Michael's, but I got some Craft Smart yarn, which is very affordable, great price, great quality. I mean, I think it's great quality. I like working with it. But it's almost 400 yards for $5, and they had it on sale. So you can't beat that. It ended up being about $4 a skein. So that was cool. They had buy 3, get 1 free. So, whoa, look what just happened. Why? Oh, you don't have it. I bet you guys have a lot of great options though. What is your favorite source for yarn? And do you use natural fibers or use acrylic too? This is a corner-to-corner blanket, and the colors are from this cake, and the cake is Mandala Bonus Bundle, and the color is Gnome, Gnome. And thank you so much for the compliment on the color. I actually I have an addiction to yarn, I will just tell you. I see a beautiful color and I just have to buy it, and then I figure out what to make with it later. And the corner to corner is actually perfect because, oh, mostly cotton and acrylic. Okay. Yeah, no problem. Hey, Jules. So I like the corner to corner because it has the stripe on the diagonal. So when I'm using something like this cake, it's randomly changing colors, and then it is on the diagonal. So you can see where I first started, it was bright yellow. So you start with just one little square, and then you build on that square. So round 1 is 1 square, round 2 is 2 square, round 3 is 3 squares, 4, and then it just builds up and up and up. But it's nice that it's on the diagonal. It just gives it a more interesting look when it's finished. I mean, even when you have a solid color, even the stitch pattern is pretty cool. That's a little bit different texture. The blanket is so easy, but it looks complex the way that the stitches end up looking after you're done. Thank you for sharing the likes. Yay, Debbie, thank you. Oh, thank you guys. Awesome. Awesome. 80% of the goal. I don't even pay attention because I just put it there for fun. Oh, yay. Thank you guys. I put it there for fun because it's an option that's out there, and I really do appreciate it. I pay attention, but I usually don't notice until I start hearing the cheers and yay. So thank you, thank you. It's a little bit tricky to watch the questions and the live goal and work, so I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And thank you for your patience. Whenever you have a question, I try to go back and see. And then Andrew, thank you for when you did your question, you asked, did I see it? I appreciate that so that I could make sure and answer that for you. I've been on some lives where sometimes the audience is less than friendly. You know, they'll not be very understanding and go after the host saying, you're ignoring me. Why are you ignoring me? It's like, I don't think that's ever their intention, because they could easily block you if they wanted to truly ignore you. It's just sometimes the comments are so fast, or the thing that the host is working on, they're not able to really see all the... A sober granny. I've never heard of that. What is that? But this is a corner to corner, so I'll have to look up the sober granny because I am not familiar with that. So that's one thing that is really cool. I've been crocheting, or I've known how to crochet since I was a little kid, but I'm always learning something new. So when people come in and ask me questions and share things with me, that's awesome because I learn from you guys as well. Hi, Reese. How you doing? Hope you're doing amazing. I'm working on my corner to corner. This is a Mandala yarn. It is bonus bundles. The color is Gnome. And this particular bundle is over 1,000 yards. The weight is a 3-weight, and I'm using an H hook. So, thank you. Oh, Happy New Year. Yes, awesome. 2023 has been good to me so far, but I am working hard to make it be an amazing year. So I'm trying to decide if this will be kind of like a baby blanket size or a large, just lightweight lap Afghan. Thank you so much, Vicki. I think if I make it about 36 by 36, no, maybe 40 by 45. So with a corner to corner, it's really up to the creator. You can go by standard measures, you know, what is the typical size of a baby Afghan, and use that as your guide. But that is one of the nice things about handcrafted goods. You can make it exactly the size you want it to be. So I have known how to crochet since I was a little kid, but recently I've just become like more interested in learning new stitches and making different items and just trying new things. This is the first time, well, no, that's not correct. I made one corner to corner and finished it earlier this year, but just in December and January, I think, is the first time that I tried making a corner to corner, because when I would look at, wait, I twisted my yarn, hold on. When I would look at the corner to corner and see this design, it was overwhelming, which after I started making one, I thought, okay, well, that was ridiculous. Fear of the unknown stopped me from trying it, and it is so easy, and it turns out so nice. You can do it with solid colors. You can do it with a cake that is variegated. You can use, my last one I used ombre yarns with a solid tan stripe in between. That turned out really nice. Or you can just buy a bunch of the same color and make one corner to corner, the whole thing one color. You know, it's maker's choice. Good night, Debbie. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Hey, Coffee Babe. I know you might be online, but maybe not in here, but if you are, welcome, welcome. Oh, the decrease is easy. So basically what you do on the decrease is you slip stitch over to the square equivalent to where you're at, if that makes any sense. So let's say you're at this end and you finish right here. Then you just kind of go across with a slip stitch and then go to your next square so that you're not extending. I was the same way, but I watched a couple videos and that was another revelation. Like, okay, great. What was I afraid of? Super easy. But same thing. Others had said, oh, the decrease is really hard. And so I had it in my mind that it was going to be difficult, but it wasn't at all. Okay, I'll show you right now, actually. Shoot, let me think real quick. Okay, so let's pretend this is the edge. So then I'm going to do, let's take that out. Let's pretend this is the edge. So get my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. So say this is the edge and this is all straight right here, and you're gonna make this the edge. So you're gonna go back to this square. So you have to get up to this square, right? So turn your work, slip stitch over. So I'm kind of doing it weird because I'm going over the yarn, but just slip stitch over. And then you're here, right? Do your chain 3 and then do your square. Now, was that hard? Then look. Oh, then let me show you. And then continue on to your next square for your diagonal. See? There you go. And then see how it made it straight? Yeah, so that's it. It's not hard. The hard part now is trying to get back to where I was. No, I'm just teasing. Okay, so let me get back to where I was. But see, it's easy. Yep, I was the same way. I was like, oh, but then what else I did is put a stitch marker there. Whatever corner is the decrease corner, I put the stitch marker so that when I get back over to that side, then I know that's my decrease. So I need to do the decrease again. So then once you start having that side flat, then you won't need the stitch marker. But for the first couple rows, it's a good reminder. Yay, Reese! You posted a little girl poncho and hat. No, okay, all right. Finished the blanket, working on a baby blanket. Awesome. Thank you guys for the follows too. Awesome. Yeah, so the decrease is easy. And then I'm trying to decide if I want to make this a baby blanket. I don't have babies. My kids do not have babies. My nieces and nephews are beyond baby stage. So if I make a baby blanket, I'll probably just put it in my shop. If you're interested in my shop, I have a link in my bio, or you can look at my website, screenshot that and go check it out. I also have a post about it because when you go in there, you want to look at all the drop downs and check out all the different categories. I have slippers, keychains, hats, beanies. What else? I do machine embroidery. I do sewing. Lots of different stuff. And then if you see an item that is sold out, typically, I have market bags, purses, zipper pouches, but typically I can make the item again. It might not be the same color, but it can be the same style. So if you see something that you like, but it says sold out, then let me know, and I can check and see if that's something that I can make another of. Typically on crocheted items, I don't stockpile a bunch of different items because for me, I like to sell the inventory to see if it's going to be something that people like before I make a bunch. The beanies are the exception because everybody can use a beanie. I think what I'm going to work on next, in my mind I have that I want to create a pattern for like a messy bun beanie, so that it is kind of like a slouchy beanie or regular beanie with a hole at the top, or kind of, I think it'd work better with a slouchy, because if you have the ponytail or the bun kind of towards the back of your head, then the hole at the top would be slouching, so then the bun or the ponytail could still fit through it. That's something that I would use for myself. So I did make a beanie earlier. Oh, thank you for the follow. Oh yeah, Nan. This pattern is called a corner to corner, and I'm not using an actual pattern. I just went ahead and started on a corner to corner. If you're familiar with a corner to corner, and this is only the second one I've made, you literally start with one square in the corner, and then you do 2 and then 3, so it's worked kind of on the diagonal. Yeah, it's very, very, very easy, and that is called corner to corner. Let me find the beanie I just made. So here is the beanie that I will be adding to my shop. Just a basic crochet beanie with a nice ribbed edge. So this kind of a basic beanie, but like a slouchy pattern with a hole so that I could have my ponytail or messy bun sticking out. So, but this corner to corner is very easy. I first started making a corner to corner just this year because I honestly was intimidated with the way it looked. It looked very complex, and so then honestly I didn't even review how to make a corner to corner because just looking at it was crazy. And once I researched and saw how easy they were, I kind of was embarrassed for myself. The yarn I'm using is a Mandala Bonus Bundle. It is from Lion Brand Yarns, and the color is Gnome. Gnome. And you can see the other colors that it has, kind of a mauve, purple. This is kind of like a muted lavender, and then green, blue. But even within the green, it has more colors, and the teal. Oh, and then there's a bright, bright green, and then bright, bright yellow. So I think this one will end up being kind of the size of a baby blanket. Each one of the squares is about 1 inch. So once I get about 36 inches across, then I'll probably be doing the decrease to start squaring it off or turn it into a rectangle. We shall see, but let me measure this and see what we're at. That's the beauty of it. When you're doing the corner to corner, or you know, you're more experienced with crochet, you don't feel the need to exactly follow a pattern. You can customize it more to the size that you want. And this is about 32 inches. So I've got a few more rows, and then I'll start doing the decrease, and then I'll probably have this listed in my shop whenever I finish it. I just love yarn, so I end up buying all this yarn, and then I need to make stuff to sell to replenish my yarn. But if you're interested, you can always watch my YouTube channel. I have a couple free patterns on there as well. And basically the videos are downloads from my Twitch and TikTok streams. So you can see the replay there. No fancy editing. No promise to have a life-changing event at the end of the video. no begging you to smash the like button and hit the subscribe or any of that. You are welcome to do all that stuff, but no super bells and whistles, just a upload of my live. Sometimes I do edit if it is from Twitch because I can do highlights. And if I'm doing like a mini stitch tutorial, then I can highlight that and upload that separately. But usually it's just the whole stream. And then you're always welcome to fast forward past the parts you don't want to see or, skip. So that's all in the control of the viewer, which is awesome. You can also change the replay speed to speed it up or slow it down. So when you're watching other tutorials, you can have it fit to your need. You can speed it up, slow it down, pause it. Yeah, I now love the corner to corner. So this stitch is called corner to corner, and it is very easy, I'm happy to say, except when I don't pay attention and catch my yarn wrong. It's very basic, using a double crochet and a chain stitch. If you would like to learn how, you can check that out on YouTube. That's how I discovered, because looking at the blanket, I was super intimidated. Then when I learned how to do it, I was quite embarrassed at how easy it is. And it goes along very quickly, so that I really loved too. Okay, so I say how easy it is and then I promptly mess up. Because when you get to the end of the row, you need to do a chain 6 to start the new row. There we go. Yeah, so if you like that stitch, there are a ton of tutorials on YouTube, so you can learn how to do it as well. And if you hadn't tried it before, you will be happy to see how easy it is to accomplish. Oops. I mean, for me, starting the new row, that's always like a little bit of a challenge because I have to really stop and pay attention and get my hook into the chain stitches just right, and then get started on my next row. There we go. Let's see if we can reset the live goal. We've got a nice group in here tonight. Oh my goodness, Hessa, you're the one that made me accomplish the goal. The whole goal last time. Awesome. Thank you so much. Let's see. What have we got? Well, we're coming up on Valentine's Day. So let's see if they have something for Valentine's Day. Well, there's a donut and there's pizza and cake, but that's a little high. And I wouldn't say pizza is Valentine-y. Well, let's just go back and we'll do cloud bread. How does that sound? We'll just do cloud bread. That's fun. I don't even know why they have that name. Cloud bread. But there it is. All right, so we're going to do a little bit more here. Thank you guys for joining me. Feel free to share the live. Send some likes. That's always appreciated. And if you want to contribute to the live goal, you can do that too, but it's definitely not mandatory. It's just for fun. So the color of yarn that I'm using is Gnome, and the yarn is Mandala. It is a Lion brand yarn. And I am working on a corner-to-corner Afghan. And here you see my shop name as well. Staying hydrated here. With all that talking, I get a dry throat. So this corner to corner is a very basic blanket, but the effect of the execution of the stitches looks complex. It makes it look like it's difficult. I would say this is a good blanket for a beginner. I mean, a good stitch for a beginner because it looks amazing, but it is pretty easy to do. And this is a corner to corner. And I'm using Lion brand Mandala yarn. The color is Gnome. So I'm working on adding inventory to my shop. This morning I did a little check on my inventory and I had 3 items in my inventory that were not listed yet. So I took some photos, listed those items in my shop. I also added a new item. There's a little amigurumi duck with stripes. I am going to be adding this beanie that I made. I just need to weave in the ends. This is a nice gray ombre beanie. Pretty much one size fits all, or most. The color is anthracite, and that is a red heart yarn. So 2023, I'm really working hard to get some more traffic to my shop. If you have your goods listed in Etsy, then it seems easier in a way. That traffic knows of Etsy. They go in there and they search for your stuff in Etsy. So it makes it a little bit easier. But I have a different shop. I don't use that service. I have a shop there, but I don't list in it because of the fees. Yeah, so if you are interested, I do have a link in my bio. You can feel free to go ahead and browse through there, see if there's anything you like. I sew, I do machine embroidery, and I have items that are crocheted. So even if you just like to browse, there's no obligation, obviously. It's fun to look at, fun to window shop, see what other people can make. I'm honestly amazed at other people's talent as well. So I like to shop and support other small businesses. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for joining. Thank you for the follows. I set a live goal there too if you're interested. And tonight I'm working on a corner-to-corner blanket. I think it will end up being a baby blanket size. This is an acrylic yarn, and the color is Gnome. And I think I will be getting off shortly and taking a break. Feel free to check out the link in my bio. I do have other platforms. And there is a link to my shop. I have links to Instagram. So even if you're you miss me here, you can see me on other platforms. It's good to know that in case anything happens with this platform. Sometimes people get where they're not able to provide content, so I like to let people know I do have other platforms. And I myself get in the habit of looking for my favorite TikTok personalities on other platforms when I see that they haven't been posting anything new. Sometimes there are issues with the platform, so good to know of other places to find your creators. And one more time, this is a corner to corner. I am using Mandala yarn. It is a bonus bundle yarn, and it is the color Gnome. It is a 3-weight yarn, and this is a corner to corner. I will be calling it a night tonight, and thank you so much, you guys, for hanging out with me. You guys have a great evening. I hope you follow me and join me again when I'm live. Thank you so much. Oh, Renee from Cali. I'm in Cali too. Thanks for the follow. Jesus and Jeeps, welcome, welcome. I'm actually going to be ending the live now and hoping you guys have a great evening and hope you can follow me and join me again another time. Thanks so much.